What's up, YouTube? This is Chris Albert coming to you from Long Beach, California. Um, Here in my room. I got an email from a kid. Don't want to say his name. Um, he's been a little bit depressed because of a breakup with his girlfriend, and you know, I got quite a bit of experience with this. You know, I've spoken about it before in different videos where I talked about how depressed I got because I had a girl leave me at one time, and I just had a relationship end and I had a new one begin, and um, you know, the shit is really difficult to deal with for some people, and so I want to go over just a few things that you need to understand while you're in a relationship in order to make sure that you're okay when you get out of a relationship. Um, the number one thing I think that people do that becomes a very big mistake is that they think that commitment and love means giving up a certain amount of your identity. And so they surrender a little bit of themselves and they give that up, and they base their identity and their happiness off of their relationship with this other person. So they don't do certain things because, you know, they think that their significant other would disapprove of it, or they change themselves in some way to do things that they think that their significant other would approve of. For instance, a lot of times when people get in relationships, one of the things they give up is the gym. And so you see people putting on a lot of weight and getting fat. They call them love pounds when they get into relationships. Now, I used to really be like this, especially when I was in my marriage. I gave up a whole lot of things, doing a whole lot of things that I liked because, and it wasn't her fault, and I'm not saying it was her fault. I gave up a whole lot of things because I felt like she would approve of me more, and that was a mistake, and that was a huge mistake on my part, and it was probably also a fatal mistake, um, and it probably led to a lot of the problems that eventually ended my marriage. So what I want to tell all of you is that I think that the concept of basing your identity on another person, or changing your life for another person, changing who you are for another person, really needs to be reevaluated. You really need to reevaluate what a relationship means to you. And so when you think about being in a relationship with another person, your relationship should make you better at what you do. It shouldn't take you away from it. It should make you a better person. You should feel stronger with that person. You shouldn't feel incompetent. You shouldn't feel like your insecurities are coming out because of that person. If you're sitting at home, if your significant other's out and about and you're sitting at home worrying about him or her cheating on you, then it's probably not a good relationship. Because that person is bringing out certain insecurities in you, and it's causing undue stress to yourself. And so, and it's hard to think about, um, but you really need to be more confident in who you are before you can give yourself over to a person like that. Otherwise, when the relationship ends, you're not going to have much of anything. And to have a good relationship in the first place, you really need to be strong and stand your ground as to who you are and what you want to be. Otherwise, that alienation, that feeling is going to build up. And eventually, you're going to create a situation that either you want to get out of or the other person wants to get out of, because you will be so bitter and so hard to live with. And it might not happen for a year, it might not happen for 10 years, it might not happen for 20 years. But either way, it'll happen. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to sit down and think about why your relationship ended. A lot of us say, oh, it's the other person. Well, I'll tell you straight up. Um, a lot of my marriage ending was my fault. And the reason was because I let her walk all over me. I let her alienate me. I let her I alienated myself, so to speak, because I gave up so much thinking that I was going to do right for the relationship. So, at the end of the day, my one tip for this is be you and be true to you always. And given that, if you are, then come what may, hell or high water, you are going to be in a good position no matter what, whether that person is with you or not. Ayn Rand, the author, has a quote, and she says, I swear on my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another person, nor allow another person to live for the sake of mine. And that really hit me, that quote, because it speaks to the essence of what human relationships should be. Human relationships should be institutions that help both people in the relationship get better. They shouldn't be based on fear. They shouldn't be based on fear that you're going to see the other person with another person. They shouldn't be based on sexuality, because that's only one dynamic of the relationship. They should be based on whether that person as a whole is helping you to get more out of your life. And so if you're in a relationship right now and you're trying to make that relationship better, then one of the things you need to think about is, well, how can I use this relationship to make my life better? How can we work together to make life better for the both of us? Right? And that's a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp, because relationships have really become ownership. You know, a lot of people think of things as like, okay, oh, that's my girl, or that's my guy, and I like those terms, but the concept of ownership is really bad when you think about it, because then that person becomes almost like an obstacle. They keep you from doing things you really want to do. But real relationships are things that are supposed to help you expand your enjoyment of your life. You want to live in a world of possibility when you're in a relationship. What can we accomplish together? What can we do together? How powerful can we become together? How happy can we make each other? And I think that that's a beautiful thing when it's done correctly. And Lord knows I've fucked this up a lot of times, but I built this channel for all of you out there, all you 20-something-year-old guys, you teenage guys who honestly are living in a generation where a lot of us don't have fathers or male figures to look up to. I never had a dad, so who the fuck's going to teach us? You know what I mean? And so I grew up just fucking looking at women as people that I could have sex with a lot of the time. Even though I had a lot of respect for my mother and my sister and all my family, I thought that made me more of a man. But, at the end of the day, I had to go through a lot and a lot of self-evaluation, understand that these are people. They're good people and they're bad people, but they're people. And they have their own hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And if you open yourself up to a good one, then you can do so much and you can be so happy. And what I don't want all of you at home to do is to go through life without any of that kind of guidance, without where you're just listening to the peer pressure and listening to your friends and listening to these fucking songs that they got out these days, and thinking that that's how you have to live your life if you want to be a man. But it's not. Manhood's about so much more. Um, and if you want to live a happy life, if you want to have a happy relationship, then you really need to get rid of some of those concepts that popular culture is poisoning your mind with. And you need to stand up for yourself and for what you believe in, and not cave into that kind of pressure. So, if you got any questions for me, hit me up at gettingitshredded@gmail.com. I know this is not my normal content. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil or anything like that. But, of course, I'm here to help. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.